himself to be a true contender for the Dunning-Kruger crown, although not many can measure up to the Dunning-Kruger prowess of Craig
My shark is just too hilarious.
But we will see how
Target
close
Mine shark
this
is too
lower
hilarious.
launch go and get.
Extract helo is returning to base.
As always, if you find the
As
Mindshock
always.
podcast interesting,
We find the Mindshock podcast very interesting.
More logical analyses and help logic.
Secure the supply boxes. Locations
return
are marked
to a
on your
world
attack
where
map.
it's quickly going extinct.
Yep.
As Soy Lodge has demonstrated.
Soy
in the
Lodge.
past, and we will see if he continues to demonstrate here. You can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description.
Soy
you can also become a
Lodge.
YouTube member right here
What's
on YouTube.
his
Help
name?
support the channel
Lord
that way.
Lodge.
Make sure you subscribe, like, share, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon.
Heads up, an enemy squad marked you as a bounty target.
Soy Lodge.
Here, questions, comments, favorites, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, leave all these in the comments in the comment section, or if
How
you
do
are
I
here
go
live
on
with
top?
us in the live chat. So, are we just gonna jump right in here? Let's jump right in. If this is the first Austin Woods debate someone is listening to, I mean, anybody who's a fan of debate, forget topic. Austin Whitson is a savant. I mean, this guy's like
He's
the
a savant.
Michael Jordan of debate. Very, very
One
impressive.
supply box down.
Always
2
interesting
remain.
and entertaining to see how Austin handled a lot of these mental midgets. I really feel bad for the guy. I mean, Austin is just craving for at least someone on a
Seriously,
basic
bro.
comprehension level.
There
I don't
is
think he's asking
nobody-
for much. But
Nice.
these gooks out there, they
Just tell
just
me,
can't muster
How many
even
pro flat
preschool to
earthers are there
kindergarten
compared to
level
anti-flat earthers? Fuck.
comprehension of basic English, let
They're
alone
craving
science.
for a good opposition, man. But they end up making a fool out of themselves. All the opposition, they just end up sounding like utter idiots, authoritarian,
supply boxes
worshipping
secured. One remaining.
religious zealots, that's all.
There's a redeploy drone over there.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Soy
back to
Lodge.
Lodge. I believe this is our first episode in the new series, right?
Of the official podcast.
This podcast, yeah. This is our first episode in the new studio, and it's also our first guest in the new studio. In a technical sense, we have Austin Whitsitt from Whitsitt Gets It. Austin, you want to introduce yourself to the people who don't know you?
Yeah, my name's Austin.
Enemies dropping into
Like
the
you said, I have
AO.
a channel with the Gets It.
Contract complete.
Centered,
All
but more
supply
so
boxes
by
secured.
way of shadow banning. But yeah, so I primarily talk about cosmology. Alternative cosmology is what I like to call it. And just bring up some stuff people haven't always heard of. And yeah, you know, it's an interesting combo.
All right, so, and, you know, I think a good place to start with these because it's, you know, like really any school of thought, seems like there is something of a, there are sects, it seems like, within your community, right?
Sex.
I've seen people say that the Flat Earth Society, for example, is a government-run psyop meant to trick people. I've seen some people who have very biblical opinions, and everything comes from a
Why
Bible.
does this guy
Bloodline.
sound
What
squeaky?
this has to
Kill enemies,
do
take their cash. Get hunting.
I mean, I have a
as we
throat
established
issue, kind of.
when
Well, my
in
throat
the
is a
first
little stressed
analysis
out,
of
there's muscle tension.
Soy Lodge here,
And I believe that it makes me
this guy
sound
doesn't
really...
even have the basics down. He doesn't
weird.
Enemy
understand
UAV overhead.
proof. He's continuing to prove
But some
that
people,
here,
they just
or
have a
even the
squeaky
basic
voice.
scientific method. So, I mean, it's almost like he's so try-hard at trying to run some kind of professional podcast, where
Very
not that he
try-hard.
knows what logic is, but even if he knew what logic was, which he has not demonstrated that he does, it seems like he's more interested in some kind of presentation as he hallucinates is professional in his own deficient mind, more so than actually having any kind of scientific dialogue. But let's see.
Perspective. Some people who are atheists, they're coming at everything from a cosmological, physical perspective. So, I mean, where do you fall on the spectrum? What are your beliefs? What about the Earth?
Yeah, so I would describe the Earth as a stationary topographical plane. And specifically, I think it's inside of a giant torus field. I do believe in the scriptures. I think that they're super messed with.
Oh,
I'm not
he
big
has
into,
used
like,
the
dogma
voice
and religion
modulator.
and stuff. I think the
Wow,
truth
okay,
is in the scriptures,
no
but
problem.
it's heavily messed with.
And we also found out that Soy Lodge here is utterly clueless about even very, very basic biblical representations of cosmology. Because he was hallucinating that the Bible wasn't a flat earth book and completely ignored all of these explicit passages clearly showing that the cosmology described in the Bible is a flat earth cosmology. And not only that, but it's not like it's
Requesting recon flyover.
I mean, look at Old Testament.
Moving
And
here. Scratch
how many
that.
people
X-ray
actually, like,
marks.
what is actually disputed about biblical
Move it.
cosmology?
Cancel my last.
UAV is bingo.
I'll bring up
I'll
the
see you at the time.
graphic here.
Soy Lodge. Man, this is the most
That's so
mentally
weird.
stimulating thing that
YouTube's
I
getting
can
all
do these
glitchy
days.
again.
Everything else is just
Of
nonsense.
course, on certain topics,
Everything is
it
garbage these
doesn't
days.
seem to want
Woke shit.
to make it easy to
Bounty
just
targets are
bring
up.
up
Get after them.
any kind of graphics or clips on certain topics. Not that anybody would be surprised by that at this point.
Possible enemy here. Movement in this area.
I'm gonna try to get it anyway. Brute force spam is how we gotta get some of these graphics up. Yeah, this is so weird.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Give me another minute. I should be able to get it working.
Launching Claymore.
Enemy movement.
Okay.
Slider.
Homer. I got it.
Enemies dropping into the AO. Contractor. Complete contracts and get yourself paid.
So, here is the depiction of the
Move to
universe.
intercept.
This isn't something that's disputed,
Oh,
but
fuck.
this Soy Lodge knew. I mean, he doesn't even have H6 down.
All stations. Enemy attacking
No,
in the area.
no.
But what did he call himself?
Soy
What kind of
Lodge.
Bible? I forget the credential he
Oh.
hallucinated for himself. Just give me a second. I want to make sure the stream is good.
Soy Lodge. Come on, Windshock. It's a very short podcast, this one.
Okay.
Don't go
so,
silent on me.
So yeah, Soy Lodge,
So,
white
okay.
the dove.
Friendly UAV
I mean,
entering
this
area.
guy
White the
seems
Yeah, that's a
utterly
globe.
clueless about everything.
यार तो
so
globe है.
we're gonna be in for a lot of pain here. We're gonna be
यार
in
तो
for a
globe है. यार
lot
तो
of pain.
globe है.
And just to tell you, so the reason people think flat Earth
Throwing
is flat
sentence.
info is because it says some crazy things. You know, it says like the Earth's a disk flying up in space, and so most people, even flat earthers, think that's insane. So
Right.
they just kind of say that it's controlled op, and then actually I will also correct that there's really not very many atheists per se, because I guess if the Earth's in the center of the universe, there's a lot of
Roger.
follow-up,
Extract
like,
bird is
how do you
inbound
get
for
there?
cash
But-
I guess
deposit.
But yeah, that's kind of a
atheist-
general.
Maybe atheist wasn't the right terminology, but people who don't describe to any particular religion.
Yeah, absolutely.
More,
Wait, what? So the guy doesn't know the definition of atheist?
Oh.
Oh man. Oh man. This is gonna be quite painful. Big heads up, people. I might have to
Hilo is
split
standing
this
by
up
at
in
the
quite a
extract
few
point.
parts. I hope you
Secure all
guys
cash in the
forgive me,
bag.
but there's no. I mean,
No
this guy's
cash to
going
deposit,
full
I'm
soy.
broke.
I mean, he's going full soy, full Dunning-Kruger.
Enemies are dropping into the
Oh,
area.
Charlie.
Watch the skies.
Absolutely, that's probably majority actually.
okay, so
Targets
that
in
was
the
what
area.
was very interesting to me was as I was looking at some of the early stuff. There's a lot of Bible references to it. And,
Scratch that.
I mean, I'm just full transparency. I am also Christian and Methodist.
Is he real?
Cargo secure.
Or is
Hilo
he
is
doing
exiting
the
the target
devil
area.
work here, pretending to be a Christian, while preaching everything anti-Bible, anti-Christian, like a false teacher, false prophet, like Michael Knowles? If you haven't checked out Michael Knowles' complete obliteration at the hands of Pearl Davis, check that out. That's a good example of a guy pretending to be a Christian while doing the devil's bidding.
Went to college for medieval studies and religious studies, so
Really shows how much that indoctrination was.
We lost that one. The enemy deposit.
you know, I'm in the boat of being a Christian very much. But I perceive
False premise, logic fallacy there.
of the scriptures a little bit differently than a lot of flat Earth people do. But I guess I would kind of dig down a little bit deeper in.
Not comprehending basic English is what he calls digging deep. Being different, aka he doesn't have the basic mental capacity required to understand what the Bible clearly says. So he has to pretend that his view is somehow valid but different.
It. What when you say that we're on a stationary plane, I guess that invites some more questions, which would be, what is outside of our perceivable zone?
Well, why would you need to know that? So if you live on an island and you can determine it's an island, you don't need to know what's way across the ocean to know that you're on an island. I mean, this is the level of gopher some of these so-called globe earthers bring to the table to flat Earth debates. I mean, this is this is like bringing a squeegee to a tank fight. I mean, and they're so utterly clueless they don't realize that that's what they just did, which is, of course, why they're in the running for Dunning-Kruger Championship.
What we have, the Earth as we know it, is it an
Wow.
expansive ice field that goes off in every direction? Is it unknown? Is it that we're floating in the void, but there's nothing beneath or above us?
Yeah, so the official FE answer would be that we don't know what we don't know. I think we've been told.
That's a huge problem for scientific knowledge. Because there's a certain collective narcissism in their blind faith cult of authority worship. So saying things that are unknown, that really triggers the narcissism.
A lot of stuff like how old the universe is and stuff, so people just kind of expect to know things I don't think we can know. But I will say I do know the scriptures and a lot of I don't know questions. The scriptures say there's waters above us and stuff like that. So there's a container. I'll be container, right? Because of the gas pressure. The mainstream model disagrees, but I don't really know, man. To be honest, I would say I do know the scripture, so I default to them. I would say at a bit deeper cosmology, it's a much different shape. Like heaven's literally right there, a crater's literally right there, water's above, water's below, water's all around. So I explain that way. I definitely don't debate that though, right? That's not something I can verify. FE officially would say we don't know.
All right, so it's kind of we don't think it's this, but we also don't know for sure
condescending.
what it is, I guess.
Oh.
We hang on, we lost your audio.
I guess. I mean, this guy just does not seem like he's operating with a full deck. I mean, whether or not he's an intentional deceiver,
dropping into
I mean,
the AO.
clearly the mental disability
You're
here
up
is on
fast.
full
We're about to
display.
get evil.
That on our end or his end?
Evil.
That's fine. Okay. I actually coined the term falsification as independent of reality. So that's kind of like, I think, the way that most flat earthers approach this. You know, because like I could make up stories. I actually think I have pretty good ideas about what it could be to answer a lot of the questions, but I would like to be very clear and say this is speculation.
Greatest
and I can't
fails
go
of all
above the earth.
time,
No
bro.
one's been further than 8 miles. So
Enemies
anyone
are
claiming to
dropping
know what's
into the
below 8
area.
miles
Watch
is
the
just
skies.
guessing, right? Whether it's a model or whatever. So FE's much more like, look, let's test.
Prep
I
time's
mean, look
over.
at
Now
that
you deploy
feminine
to the war
adjustment
zone.
of the microphone. I mean, he even adjusts his microphone.
Feminine. Here
with
comes the
off
feminine
chart
crashing.
soy levels. I mean, you can see the soy practically
My god,
oozing
this is the most
from his
hilarious
pores.
thing I've heard
I mean, this is gonna be so
in
painful.
any podcast
We're
ever,
in
man.
for a lot of pain, people. I mean, I know I claim we don't know anything for sure here. The motto of Mindshock is the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure.
That's right.
I might have to break
see you
that
on the other
motto. Because I think I'm pretty sure we're in for a lot of pain
Plunder.
and a lot
Enemy
of soul.
soldier incoming.
So we can. It doesn't really
Primary
comport with what
objective
they
is to
said
secure
going
as much
on.
cash as
That's
possible.
where we are, you know?
Go get greedy.
I mean, is it just me, or the way that he's just curling his hand to adjust that microphone? I mean, I've never seen anybody adjust the microphone that feminine.
Okay, gotcha. And so I guess the next logical step in terms of questions would be,
And why does the microphone even need adjustment? I mean, it's on that stand. I mean, did his fondling of the microphone actually shift any kind of position or do anything? Like, what was the point of that? Or is he just this triggered,
On
this
you, stay sharp.
nervous, and he knows the obliteration that's about to come? I mean, this is a toddler.
Planting mine.
This is a toddler who got pushed onto the basketball court with Michael Jordan.
you know, some of the really early flat earthers, you know, Robotham, the Universal Zetetic Society, and then after that, the International Flat Earth Research Society, which was Samuel Shenton. And I believe Daniel Shenton of the modern Flat Earth Society is actually not related to him. But Samuel Shenton in the
Positive ID on the bounty
1970s,
target.
or 1960s, and then after him, name escaping me, Johnson.
Sounds right.
Yeah, after that, for the International Flat Earth Research Society. You know, they had some pretty discreet, you know, explicit beliefs about certain
Discreet? Does he not know what the word discreet means? What? I mean, this guy's not even on a kindergarten level English comprehension ability. I mean, why is he even on the internet? I mean, is there nobody around him? Okay, does everybody around him hate him this much that they just want to laugh at him humiliating himself?
Primary objective complete.
On
All
the
targets
internet? I mean, is
eliminated.
this what this is? Is
That
everybody,
was so funny.
is his family and friends just
Enemies
playing
are
a
dropping
cruel
into the area.
joke
Watch the skies.
on him right now?
Idiot.
So I guess my next question is, in your flat Earth cosmology, where are the sun and
What?
the moon, and how big are
What
they,
the hell?
I guess.
He says I guess a lot. I mean, you can tell that he just doesn't have the mental capacity to speak clearly and succinctly. I mean, this is gonna be so painful. Wow.
What the
This
hell?
might have to be a 20-parter. I'm already having trouble here. I am having trouble here just dealing with this amount of soy and this amount of mental disability combined.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know the answer to either one of those things.
Now he's playing with the cord, with his headphone cord.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, it's like a woman playing with her hair. I mean, is he just that infatuated with Austin Witts? I mean, what is he doing with that
Oh my
cord
God.
right there?
We have an angular size of the sun, obviously.
Is everybody seeing this? I mean, he's playing with the cord like a woman plays with her hair.
But how big the actual sun is, I have no idea. Again, I default to scripture as to what I personally think when it comes to things like in the heavens, right? I think that there's a firmament, there are layers to it, there's the night light, the daylight, there are stars further than the sun and moon, etc. But I will say the evidence shows pretty clearly that the sun we see is just an apparent position. So basically, each observer kind of has their own personal sun. And even in the globe model, right? Oftentimes the sun is...
That headphone cord is still bouncing.
Move in here. Cancel movement.
So really, regardless
Scratch
of
that.
what you think of the Earth, what we see in the sky isn't always what it's made out to be. Yeah, they make claims like 3,300
Targets
miles,
in the
33
area.
miles wide.
I mean, think about the level of mental disability to not even be able to sit there in a composed fashion without fondling
Enemies dropping into
microphones,
the AO.
without curling headphone wires. I mean, wow. Wow.
I don't
Enemy
make those claims
UAV
at all. I don't think
overhead.
we know the actual position. The evidence shows that we couldn't possibly know those things. So I kind of stay away from like making definitive claims about the sky. That's what got us in this mess.
All right. I think I can respect that a lot more than some of the other stuff I've come across. I can tell you that. When I read,
I mean, look at the narcissism here. Because it's not about
sorry,
the
man,
truth for
fuck.
this guy. This guy is such a narcissistic goof. He hallucinates that
Set in
people
mind.
care what he respects more or less.
Cash drop
It
inbound.
has anything to do with the scientific method or reality in any way. But think about the level of delusion this goof has to have to hallucinate
Take cover.
that people care about who or what he respects more or less. Oh man, this might be my shortest parter in a logical analysis because, I mean, wow, just look at this goof's face.
I'm on you.
I mean, this guy is mentally gone.
Gone.
Moving.
I mean, does this look like a guy that's all there in the head? I mean, does it? Does it?
the 3,000 miles and 32 miles wide, I was like, okay, that seems like a lot for somebody to believe, based on when they said it and what their reasoning was.
But 93 mil, that's no problem for the goof. And he said depending on what the reasoning was, but does he know what the reasoning was? Does he know the reasoning for
Enemy here.
93 million? If he does, he hasn't said it.
Taking effective fire.
Instrumentation that they probably use to do that, which is, not to undermine, amateur attempts.
Plants in mind.
Astronomy,
Stunning cover. Bollocks.
What's the difference between an amateur attempt and a professional
Set in
attempt?
mind.
Is that like a no-shot logical balance?
Semtex.
You're working with people having a non your opportunity.
How did he not die, bro?
So I get what
How did he not die?
the sun, where it like as an object using light, where
Not
what is its
Zayed.
movement pattern?
And you can tell just from the line of questioning itself.
Friendly Guardian is
what is
active.
this? What is that? How does this work? You could tell this guy's just a mentally weak, slave-minded flicker. Because he can't think for himself, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. He wants a priest to give him the answer, so he could put blind faith in the priest's answer instead of utilizing the scientific method. Instead of utilizing logic and reason to deduce for himself. That he can't do. That he just needs the answer to put blind faith into. And again, this is something you see with most scientism cultists. They just want movement. They don't want to actually employ anything resembling the thinking process.
So it appears to move in a circle over top of the Earth. just moves in a giant circle, and throughout the year it moves in and out closer and further away from the center. That's what gives us seasons, that's what gives us the analemma. So from a flat Earth position, the sun is just changing its position over the Earth throughout the year at an angle. And the globe model would say, well, it looks like it's doing that because we're tilted.
Yeah, he's twitching like crazy.
And we're actually
Oh
flying
my
through
God.
space, making the sun look like...
And even the way that he's playing with the cord, it's with a very feminine hand motion.
Oh
like
my
it's moving
God.
throughout the year. Whereas the flat
Would
Earth
be an
position just moves out the year.
FDR.
So basically, smaller to bigger circles over top of the Earth.
All right. And so I guess the next question I would have then is, given that it is nighttime on essentially half the Earth at once.
And again, everything is through a narcissistic lens. He's not asking flat out what it is. The next question I would ask, because it's all about him, these egocentric narcissist
The enemy's about to complete
boobs
their objective.
are
Shut
so
'em down.
bereft of logic, reason, awareness, basic psychological understanding. They
Be advised,
really
enemy
don't
attack helo
realize
incoming. Shoot it down
how
and secure the
they're
cache.
coming off here in their narcissistic stupors.
At any given time. How is it possible that in Antarctica you can have the midnight sun?
Wow, circular reasoning
Moving
fallacy,
here. Cancel my loss.
question logical fallacy, all these presuppositions
X-ray marks.
without any kind of understanding of how burden of proof works.
What's in mind?
So I openly and readily admit that if you have the midnight sun, 24 hours, and we have hundreds
Enemy soldier
of
incoming.
amateur videos of that. 24-hour sunlight also wouldn't
Set
be a
in
problem
mind.
for flat Earth. There's something called coffee cup caustic. So if there's like a container, the light will reflect around the whole room. It's actually a very cool effect. It's called coffee cup caustic. So like if you have your coffee by the window, the light will come in and light up the rim. So you could have 24-hour lights in the south, right, on the flat Earth. But as to seeing the sun in the sky for 24 hours do 360 around you, that doesn't really match what we say, right? But there doesn't really seem to be substantial evidence that exists. In fact, the popular video that got like hundreds of thousands of views was passed around everywhere. We found out was doctored. It was literally faked. They layered the top. They connected and looped the top to the beginning to the end. Then another one was faked. And
Enemy
so
UAV
that's kind of
overhead.
sketchy. There's also 24-hour cameras in Antarctica from like a government research development facility, and it cuts out like 8 hours each day. It's supposed to be 24 hours, and we contacted them. They said they don't have the bandwidth to do the full 24 hours. So
So they have the bandwidth to do infinite television channel streams all over the world. There's bandwidth. I mean, there's broke people with webcams doing 4K, with cheapo 4K webcams doing 24-hour streams. But somehow, some of the most well-funded research facilities with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, they just can't manage the 24-hour
Enemies
stream.
dropping into the AO.
I mean, is this kind of how NASA couldn't get any kind of stream in 2024 of their alleged moon landing? Whereas back in the 60s, supposedly, I mean, they were sending multiple streams. If you haven't checked out the Apollo mission series on Mindshot, check that out. I go over what was alleged. I mean, they were sending streams for each different color. For the color broadcast, they were sending it via microwave. They were sending all these different streams. But somehow now, today, they just don't have the bandwidth.
Hi, 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 hi.
there's a reoccurring theme that when it comes to verifying that the sun's in the sky,
Failed to
not the
complete the
case.
objective.
One more thing.
Stand down.
I know someone that used to work for NASA actually. He was stationed in Antarctica for 6 months. Now this is anecdotal, obviously, but he did work for NASA. Verifying. He said he never saw the sun for 24 hours. So that's kind of the answer to that.
And look at Whitsitt calling out his own fallacy, the anecdotal logical fallacy, as he makes it. I mean, look at that honesty. You'll never find that kind of honesty from Soy Lodge.
Soy
I
Lodge.
don't even claim to have an answer as to why you would see that on a flat Earth. I don't think you would. I think you would see it set, and I think you may have daylight. And so yeah,
No,
I'm sure
come
we can't
on.
really-
3 hours are
really explore
gone.
there too easily.
It's
Hasn't there been
3 hours
somebody
already
offering that for
over.
several years now, though?
Impossible, bro.
To do a guided tour across, like, to the South Pole.
So that's some more claims. This is what's so interesting about this.
I mean, and look at the goof's face. He every time he opens his mouth, he clearly demonstrates he doesn't understand how burden of proof works. I mean, anybody can offer anything, but the burden of proof is on positive claims. One is not called upon to prove a negative. But this goof can't grasp it. I mean, he's too busy. He's too busy clutching his microphone in a feminine fashion.
This always happens. So one guy offered to do it, and a bunch of flyers were going to go. A bunch of money got raised up, and he stole the money.
I have the video slightly sped up just so it doesn't take forever.
And dipped out. Then another guy claimed that he was a pilot and he would fly flat earthers there. And so we contacted him and was like, let's do it. And he's like, oh no, I'm not going to tell you the charter. I'm not going to do it. Whatever. He even raised money. But when we contacted him behind the scenes, he's like, no, I'm not actually going to fly it. I'm not going to tell you what plane that I work for or anything like that. So it's kind of like a show. There's someone doing it now, again, right? Playing that, acting like they're going to bring us down there and pay for one flat earther, but we've already caught them in like 5 or 6 lies. So long story short, I want to go. I definitely want to go. But I also don't want to go in some like sketchy circumstances or with people that are stealing money from anyone, right? It has to be fully transparent and stuff like that. So long story short, the history of that has been pretty suspect so far.
All right, so I do have a couple of questions about some of what was said then.
Again, everything is I. We really do need to add that narcissistic counter. Because instead of just asking the question, like, notice how instead of just asking the question, he has to say, I need to ask the question. I need to do this. I need to do that. I respect this or that. Everything is through a narcissistic lens. That's how far gone these goofs are mental.
I guess the first and foremost would be when you say that the video of the sun going, never setting in Antarctica, when you say it's doctored, it's looped, what do you mean?
Yes.
He doesn't know what a loop is? I mean, look at Austin trying to dumb this down. I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if it's possible to dumb this down to a level that Soy Lodge can comprehend. Give me a second here. I want to make sure the stream stays up because some of these streams, I mean, they get targeted.
This insight is repeating the same thing over and over again.
Check
I
your
don't know
gear and
why I
weapons.
like this
We'll be
game so
deploying
much.
shortly.
This game so much. I don't know why I like this game so much. It's too fucking ridiculous.
Watch your fire! Check your fire!
Enemy soldier incoming.
Movement in this area.
What? What was that?
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
It's a hilarious game.
Still be good.
So there's two really popular ones. One has a little watch, so it kind of shows the time, and that's the second one. The other one, it just has mountains with snow and it shows the sun. Follows tracks the sun. So at the beginning of the video, you see clouds come over the sun. Then it starts to do a 360. When it comes back, it takes those beginning frames and puts it at
What
the end.
choice
as if
down
it was a full 24
there?
hours. And of course, the flat earthers caught that, right? Not anyone
I'll
that was
see you on the other side.
This flat earth, they just blindly believed it. We looked at it a little closer, and it wasn't the case. They since came out and
Listen to
admitted
the
that they did it.
desperate condescension in his
They
voice.
put the first
Green.
video
That's
out
disgusting.
in
Better word.
to
Good.
24 hours. They've come out and admitted that, but only after we caught it. And this was the #1 video.
And you can
Oh no,
see
what
how
idiots.
the goof is struggling.
Contact rover here.
I don't think he can process any of this. Are we getting an echo here? I'm hearing it. Testing. Okay. Should be good now. Okay.
Squad
Yeah,
wipe?
it's like he can't process that something could be faked by the scientists and cult.
Shared everywhere to disprove flat Earth. There's another one where there's a watch and the sun disappears. The sun actually disappears for quite a bit of the frame. So,
Well, so I guess I'm still a little confused. Like,
He just seems to be a lot of confused
Very confused.
about a lot
yeah.
of things, including kindergarten level English.
It's very
what
far
point
away.
in the video did they layer in?
He just
Uplink station located.
explained
Get
it.
your squad mate there so
They
they
put
can
the
transfer
part
their
at the
intel.
beginning, at the end. I mean, this isn't rocket science. He literally just explained it.
The beginning part.
and towards the end. So you have the beginning, and then it loops all. It goes 360 around you, and then as it comes back to where it's going to start, they took the first frames and put it on the end as if it fully connected back around. And you can tell that because you can layer the clouds, and they're identical. The clouds are identical, 24 hours apart. Obviously, that's not the case, but they did end up actually admitting that they did that.
Well,
He didn't really offer a suggestion as to why. He just said the guy did it.
Uploading
Aiden- Aiden's
now.
pulling it up
Secure
right now.
the area.
Is it the Frozen South Antarctica 24-hour sun 4K?
This is the,
Maybe
this
so, I don't
this is
know.
the one
I
with
don't
the
know.
watch.
That's the one with the watch.
Yeah.
The watch is the second one that started coming out, yeah. And if you look at that, you'll see that you don't actually see the sun in the video the whole time.
Upload finished.
It's blocked
Contract
by
complete.
clouds, and it looks like it could have clearly just set. There was some daylight for sure.
Yeah, he's.
So you don't even see the sun the whole time in that one, and the sun looks highly suspect. And if you look closely, you see the layer, the words in the video there. You'll see the words are actually behind the mountain, right? Which means the video has to
Enemy
be
movement
layered.
in the AO.
To have the words actually behind the mountain, you're gonna have layers. As far as I know, with video editing, you can't layer the words like that. So.
You can. It's. Aiden,
Bro.
Aiden can attest to this. He has a good
Enemy
degree
here.
from NYU, but
Always appealing to authority. I mean, some kid in their mom's basement, in a middle school dropout, in their mom's basement.
Enemy
can do some
UAV
edits.
overhead.
You don't need a degree to do that. But you could
Hostile
see
located.
how far gone mentally these scientism cultist goofs and authority-worshipping cultist bootlickers are. They can only think in terms of degrees and appeals to authorities or credentials logical fallacy.
So, real quick, I can
Got attack
line up
rover
a second.
here.
So what's the specific element of the conversation, just so I can properly hear it and respond correctly?
Was he not paying attention? So he's just sitting there not paying attention?
Yeah, so you see, the last point I made was if you look at the video, you'll see it says like north or south or whatever. And if you look at the words, they are layered behind the mountains. So what I was saying is, I don't really know how you could have it partially in front and behind the mountains unless there were layers in the film.
Yes. So, in a way,
Enemy movement.
Your squad mate secured valuable intel. Get them to an uplink station marked on your TAC map to export it.
Enemy movement in the AO. Moving. Enemy marked.
Cash drop is en route.
Movement in this area.
Which scope was he using?
Hostile located.
Soy large, come on, Mindshock talk, bro. It's such a short podcast, and this guy's hardly talking, man. Mindshock, come on, Bruce McGuire. Why aren't you saying anything? Are you having a mind shock?
Friendly Guardian is active.
Possible enemy here. Got movement.
Contract here. Upload has started. Set security.
Contract here.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I got you
Upload
guys.
is
You
done.
didn't miss anything.
Solid
We're
work.
just testing the stream. We are back.
Our Guardians
That
lost
might
power.
happen a couple times. Yeah. So, okay. Let's continue here.
I don't know if you're familiar with masking at all in video production. So essentially, you can, if you want to have that effect where you have a layer, like a text layer, partially obscured by something that's in
I mean, it doesn't really matter because who cares? If they loop the video, what difference does it make about the layers?
the footage, you can create what's called a mask layer and set it to transparent, depending on what layer you want it to see through. And so, like, for example, let's say this is the text that I have here. If I create a mask layer here, I can then have it complete that mask layer so it doesn't have to complete text. That
And the point here is it's heavily edited. So that's the point here. It's not a raw video feed. I mean, these guys are missing all the points.
Got a truck here.
South to West says he went to Loyola University.
video behind.
Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, it's a way to kind of get creative. A buddy of mine who's a graphic designer does.
Yeah, it's a way to edit and get creative. It's a way to change the reality of what is being recorded.
Stuff like that all the time with like college sports things and everything, because they'll layer text behind athletes as they're like shooting a jump shot in a stadium.
Your squad mates carrying
So
critical
in front of the
intel.
police.
Secure them to the designated
Yeah, that's the main point here.
Down.
The
Fudge
video
medical.
is manipulated
Get you on your
and
feet.
edited.
Athlete, just as a way to kind of like make it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
Set in mind.
Obviously, the major problem with the video is actually you cannot see the sun background. The sun itself is
We're
see
trying
it,
to-
see its contour.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
You could just pull it up over.
Planting mine.
Yeah, but I'll do it.
He's playing around.
Yeah.
While he does that, because you know, I want to make sure I understand.
Yes, always improving in the chat. They are acting like they are correcting him when they are proving his point. Yes, but these narcissistic goofs are so far gone mentally into the cult of authority worship, they're only playing gotcha games to indulge their narcissism. Like, they think they got a brownie point by explaining
UAV
how
overhead.
certain text masks can work, and missed the entire point of what Austin was saying. And Austin never even argued with them
Move
about
target.
it.
Right here.
So, yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Data transfer is running. Secure the perimeter.
Argue with it. So I guess, so from what I'm understanding though, if somebody were to take you up in a plane and fly, you know, from Chile, Argentina, right? Yeah. From like Argentina over the South Pole, I don't have the southern hemisphere memorized. Whatever would be opposite of Argentina on the other side of Antarctica on a globe Earth model. If somebody were to fly you over that, you would go, all right, it's
Blood
round.
money.
Yeah, if you can truly verify
down
that
enemy
you did
squads
true
and
north to
secure
south
their
circle
cash.
navigation over Antarctica and back up, yeah, it's possible on the globe. I would want to be able to verify where I'm at, of course, but
Targets in.
yeah,
That's
of
our
course, same thing. If
proximity
I went and I saw the sun go.
Got movement.
Austin would like to verify where he was at. But clearly, Soy Lodge doesn't need to verify when he can just put blind faith in the scientism priests and their GPS computer program.
Moving
Go
this way.
around me 360 for 24 hours, right? Like I'd be like, okay, this matches the globe. It doesn't match
Soy
the fighters. But again, the guy that got the
Lodge.
north to south circumnavigation record actually went down, went to the South Pole, and turned around and went back up, and still was given the record, even though he didn't actually. His original route was to go over Antarctica and come back. He actually cut back up, and they gave him the world record for it. So. I mean, yeah, I will say their answers are in Antarctica, but it's super sketchy. Every single thing that's claimed to prove the globe there has been fraudulent. That doesn't prove that the Earth is flat, but it is definitely weird, right? Like, it should definitely, I mean, the way you prove the Earth is flat is you know, test the surface and see if it's curving.
Right. Yeah. That's.
do-
We can get to that.
We do have the video here, and
Yeah. The video is now
Uplink
visible
station
for the audience.
located. Get your squad mate there so they can transfer their intel.
All right.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely
watch
see
right. Just a second, you're gonna see where it's starting to go down. You're gonna see the clouds block the sun
Yeah.
for a good portion of time. So watch, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
the sun
We
can just
saw him
set.
block it,
Sun can set right here.
but you can tell that it didn't because there's still light from above.
Which, again, the goof is so utterly clueless. He didn't listen to anything that Austin said about what he called the coffee cup caustic, where the light...
Load has started.
Not to
Check
you don't
security.
even need that. Does the goof not understand that light can refract? You don't need to be looking at a direct light source for something to be lit up by a light source elsewhere, refracting light.
Upload
This
finished. Contract
goof is
complete.
so far down
Enemy
the
attack
method.
helos in the airspace.
I mean, when do you learn
Take it
about
down and secure
refraction?
that
I mean, this
cache.
is elementary school. I mean, just the basic concept, nothing, advanced about it, but just the basic concept of light being able to reflect. But this guy somehow doesn't get it, and also, look, in his religious fervor, he can't comprehend that the video could be edited. Like, he's so
Supply box
dogmatic
is located.
in his
Move to
worship
secure.
of authorities, even though Austin, now again, I don't know if Austin provided the proof for the admission that the video was edited, but I mean, clearly it had the text effects on it, so it's clearly not raw video with those edits on, even if it's an accurate representation of what happened. It's not raw video, so that much is clear. But this soy logic is hallucinating that light
Enemies
can't
dropping into
bounce,
the AO.
and videos can't be edited. Boggin in the chat says, Astro Sonia phone unit.
Oh, finally, bro.
Like
Where?
light.
So, I'll,
Right now, where's the light? Where's the light?
the stream is a little bit delayed, so I'm gonna
Supply
pause.
box secured. Move on to the next one.
That we get caught up on your end. But so I'm gonna play a little bit so you can you can see the bright spot behind the clouds.
Ah, what the
kinda
fuck?
just remains there, and then also,
I don't see any bright spot where he put that mouse pointer. I don't see it. I don't know what he's hallucinating, or maybe he's on a much higher quality monitor, but here in a quadruple split screen, I do not see that.
it would be important to confirm with those who did this, but
2 supply boxes down. 1 to go.
Okay.
Enemy
You know,
soldier
a little
incoming.
bit, yeah. But then again, I mean, you can see it on the other side of the sky, too. Right spot. That's the light track.
the camera don't. But with that bright cloud,
You can follow it all the way up to where it ends up.
yeah. So I'll just keep circling the sun on the
Set in
screen
mind.
and just follow it.
Contract complete.
It goes
All supply boxes found.
there and
Yeah, this video definitely can't be edited. That's what we know
Be
for
advised,
sure.
there's an
In
enemy
this day
squad
and
gunning
age,
for
there's
you.
just never any video
Enemy UAV
manipulation.
overhead.
It's just not possible. Pokemon Trainer 5678 in the chat is on point. It's just not possible.
then you can see the bright spot still behind there. It's starting to rise again. There's the bright spot there, and then it's rising. It's rising. It's rising, and then you can see it's very faint down there, and it's going to come out right about up here.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen the video probably 30 times, bro. Like, you don't see the sun the whole time. If that cuts off the guy,
Objective failed.
Yeah,
The
well,
enemy
if the
secured
sun
more cash.
had set,
I mean, do all the Bigfoot and Ghost videos cut it for these guys? Because if videos can't be manipulated, I mean, there's hundreds, there's thousands of Bigfoot and Ghost videos.
would it not have gotten dark?
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't have a problem with the 24-hour daylight. It would be seeing the actual sun for 24 hours. These have been doctored and faked. There are 24-hour cameras for a government institution that never shows the 24-hour sun. We've called them and they say they don't have.
And look how these two goofs completely ignore the point Austin is making. Now, if Austin can back that up, but they're not even asking him for evidence. They're just completely ignoring all of it. They're just ignoring absolutely everything.
Max level. Whoa. Okay, that was quick. What is this? Cool story, bro. Faster,
bandwidth.
stronger.
Like, okay, well then send them the next day and put them together. They don't. There are 10, 15 cameras that should catch this every day, all day. And then the one popular one that
Pokemon Trainer 5678 starting to psychologically project here. We always appreciate the Trigger Dunning-Kruger goofs that invade the chat. It's so hilarious. Proving the points against themselves better than anybody else ever could. Just like Soy Lodge here.
got around was proven to be fake, only admitted fake once we caught it. Now we got this where the sun rays don't even change the whole time.
So-
and then it goes behind the clouds and there's a hot spot there. So if I really wanted to believe the globe was true, I could look at this and be like, that's good enough. But for someone that's actually went and seen mountains from 300 miles away, right, I need legitimate evidence, not
So-
like, I think the sun's probably behind the clouds, when it could just be fake.
I would argue it's not really a think here. It's a
Yeah,
sun's
I'll-
definitely behind the clouds. You can trace the hotspot all the way. That would be my argument. But I would also point out that like you can tell the angle of.
So his argument is that videos can't be manipulated. They can't be edited in the 2020s. I mean, that's his argument. And no, again, through a narcissistic lens. Instead of just stating it, he has to state that it's his argument. My, I, me. This guy's narcissism off the charts.
the light, and it's clearly coming from
Me.
above, not out. You know, in the video, it's if you look at where the light is coming from, the whole way through, you can tell it's coming from above, not outside.
Light gets super close to the horizon, and then it basically gets dark where it gets more evenly distributed out. And in our understanding, Coffee Cup Caustic, the light would be reflected around. It would be up above you. The sun's always above you. So, you know, like I said, I'm down to go. If there's independent verification of it, that's cool. This doesn't cut it for me. We've caught them faking it. Everyone knows you can fake that video anyway.
What?
We're gonna be honest.
How
Everyone
is it
knows
so
that you
much?
can fake that video. We've already seen them faked. We keep asking the government place, like, just give us the 24 hours, and they don't. And you have to understand.
Pokemon Trainer, if you understood anything about logic, which it seems you don't, burden of proof is on positive claims. So, if you're claiming the globe model is true, you need to back it up. Austin, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Austin Whitsitt's channel. Austin Whitsitt put together I forget which video it was. He put together the best video on why, I don't know about flat, but why a stationary, or he might have even done flat and stationary on that one, is the default position. Now my default position, I usually don't take any position and I use that as default. But Austin put together the best argument I have ever seen regarding flat and stationary being default. Now that doesn't mean it's true in any way, but that would be default.
Understand that from a fighter's position, we see them faking things, but the Globers have never said anything about it, right? They took their victory laps.
Pokemon Trainer, go watch the logical analysis here between Brian Myers and Austin Whitsitt. And then come back if you're hallucinating that you have some kind of... Well, if you're playing... Again, Pokemon, I don't know if you have a mental disability, you're just not understanding burden of proof. If you're claiming globe, you have the burden. So you just said you have more proof, so you have the burden. I am not claiming it's flat. Where did I claim it was flat? So Pokemon Trainer is just that mentally disabled and that bereft of basic English comprehension. I do not claim anything is true or untrue about anything. I said Austin put together a good video, not this video here, where he put together really good arguments for flat and stationary being default. Default doesn't mean true. But hey, I mean, if Pokemon Trainer has some kind of fetish for humiliating themselves in internet chats, I mean, let the goof roll. We'll laugh at him.
Flat Earth is stupid. It's just we found that they were faking it, and this is similar to we go look at the 24-hour videos. There's 8 hours.
Yeah, look at Soy Lodge nervously twisting that cable. I mean, this is sad to watch. I mean, does anybody else feel genuinely bad for Soy Lodge getting humiliated here? I mean, his family and friends must just absolutely hate him. I mean, it's hard to blame them. I mean, who could put up with this narcissistic goof? Now, if he has a mental disability, it's not his fault. I mean, he needs better tutors. He needs better tutors to help him handle the narcissist.
Missing out each one, and it does exactly what's expected on a flat Earth. The shadow goes from one side to the other. So that's what we think happens. We think that the sun is going to set. So, yeah, I mean, this video doesn't do it.
Do you know the...
Wow, Pokemon Trainer's subconscious is just roasting him. Man. You have the IQ of a freshly loaded dice. I mean, that might be generous by your subconscious. That might be generous. I mean, clearly you need mental health help. But that might be generous. I don't know if your IQ is that of a freshly loaded diaper. That might, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Supposedly your subconscious knows you best. I mean, maybe it is that high, but...
Well, the other one was that you mentioned?
So I think if you type in 24-hour sun Antarctica, just that, it'll pop up. I can try to find it.
Yeah, he's
Oh, wait, are you talking about the one that's been docked, or are you talking about the 24-hour cameras?
I'm talking about...
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Some goof with the moniker Pokemon Trainer is hallucinating. He knows something about logic. I do appreciate the laughs, though. I hope he sticks around and continues the Dunning-Kruger spiral.
The one where you said that they looped the
Yeah,
end of it.
yeah. 20. I'll look it up. I don't remember the name. We actually looked at it today on Glowbusters, though, but I don't remember the name.
All right.
Maybe someone in the chat will.
Yeah,
Get bent is all Pokemon Trainer has. I mean, come on. You can do better than that, kid.
Aiden's looking for it.
Here's one.
Let's see. Is there a mountain on the left side and the sun kind of emerges from behind the mountain and goes to the right?
Yes, there is a mountain.
Is it the one, you should be able to see it in just a second if you have the stream up. Is it the one that's on screen right now?
I don't see it yet. No.
It's not this one?
Is
All
this
right,
one? This one is in Alaska. This is actually in the north.
Oh, Aiden.
Oh, my bad.
It's one. No.
That's funny. I mean, the guy is such a master. His degree from film school somehow his degree from film school is not enough to not understand that Alaska and Antarctica are not in the same place. I mean, he does have that degree from film school. Doesn't that make him infallible? According to Soy Lodge, that should make him infallible.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. When you type it in, it brings up Alaska.
Honestly, knowing how Google's algorithm works, I'm not surprised. They try to predict what they think you're actually looking for, and a lot of the time they're wrong. I used to work in SEO, so I got very used to
Here's
dealing
a
with Google.
time lapse of the midnight sun.
Following the time lapse of the midnight sun is seen from Scott Base.
I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well,
But,
I'm thinking about if you have the stream, it's might be able to share. Maybe if you share your screen with him so we can see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Because I think this is an important part of the discussion, because
You don't think it's weird that videos got hundreds of thousands of views and were faked?
well, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out, is was it actually faked? You know, because it's
For sure, they admitted.
Again, a complete misunderstanding of Burner. I mean, were all those ghost videos fake? I mean, maybe they're all real. Let's just assume they're all real. That's Soy Lodge's position.
It was faked, yeah.
well, when you say they admitted it was faked, is it that they admitted the entire video was faked, or did they say, well, yeah, at the end we looped in the...
Wait, what's the difference? I mean, wow. I mean, this goof... This is so weird. He doesn't have the mental capacity to comprehend that doesn't matter. If someone makes a ghost video and they say, oh yeah, we looped this part, are you going to trust any of the video? I mean, is this like taking the serial killer's word for it in court? Like, he's going to provide his own security tapes of where he was. I mean, this should be good enough, right?
beginning is that it loops properly.
Wait, so it loops properly? Why would it need to loop? Wait. This guy... So it loops properly? If you're presenting a 24-hour video, why would it need to loop, let alone loop properly? Wow, we're in for a lot of pain. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can handle this part, but, yeah, I mean, this is tough. This is tough. This group's hallucinating it. I mean, this is just really tough. Like, does he not understand how dumb he sounds here? Or is he some kind of operative, and this is all an Illuminati humiliation ritual, where he was ordered to humiliate himself, and he's just this good of an actor that he can go full soy, he can go full retard, he can do all of these things convincingly.
Because that's a different thing than it being totally fake.
Yeah, I think this is my last match
Looping
before a
properly
break.
is a different thing than it being totally fake.
Let's get it on.
Oh, wow. I mean, this is a red herring logical fallacy. I mean, yeah, a diversion logical fallacy. I mean, it's just... The guy doesn't comprehend when you're faking videos. How you fake the video is not really relevant, is it? Because it is not a genuine video. So does it even really matter at that point?
Well, they claimed it's the sun for 24 hours, and
That looks like a... You know what it looks like. Damn these stupid ass designers, man. They're hiring mentally gone people. Bro, why aren't you talking Mind Shock, dude? Why are you zoning out of your bloody podcast, which is supposed to be so hilarious, man? Come on. Yeah, Artaglob hai. Yeah.
actually, it wasn't the sun.
Don't worry.
Artaglob hai. Artaglob hai.
Nobody missed anything. I just, I pause the stream sometimes to get it to catch up.
Debate.
Do any weird things. So if it goes silent for like 30 seconds or a minute, don't think that you're missing something. That's just me attempting to keep the signal good.
24 hours. It was the sun for a certain period, and they took the different footage and pretended that it looped around to make it look like they tracked the sun for 24 hours, right? So,
Also, just...
I'll speak for basically every flat earther here, okay? They're going to be very frustrated that I'm like even really pretending this would do something because it's been faked. We can't independently verify it, right? The evidence would be test the surface of the Earth. Is it curving? Can we prove that the Earth is moving? Because of those things, that's why we aren't going to like, believe footage that can be doctored. Although I am on your side in the sense that some flat earthers, I would go. Yeah. I would go. I'd happily say, look, this is weird. Like I would admit, look, this matches the globe.
I can't play ranked,
unless I
bro.
can go or someone I truly trust
Until the servers are over, I cannot play ranked.
There should be thousands of them. We have government stations down there that have 24-hour cameras.
Bro,
we should be able to just go look at it all the time. It shouldn't even be a discussion. We shouldn't be scouring YouTube to find them. It should just...
Not to mention, if you were a scientist, or scientism priest, regardless, wouldn't it be cool to get a 24-hour live stream? I mean, you have all these middle school goofs doing 24-hour streams in their mom's basement. If you were a so-called pro scientist, you can't afford a webcam and a laptop to just set it up outside and just stream it 24 hours. Like, wouldn't that be like a huge... Wouldn't that be just a huge feather in your cap if you're gonna go work in Antarctica and to have a single... I mean, it's really not that hard. Again, I mean, people do this in their backyard, people do this in their basement. It's not that hard to do a 24-hour live stream. I think I have a 27-hour Jean-Benet Ramsey podcast stream somewhere.
It's taking too long, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's so prohibitive like it would have been in maybe like 1993 or something, where it might have been just too difficult to do, drop signals. I mean, anything post-2010, I mean, it would be easy to do a 24-hour stream. I mean, if it was legit, I mean, you would have dozens and dozens of scientists with that footage. Their own private footage, not even going through the facility.
be readily available, and they're not, you know, and that's weird, bro.
I can agree with you that, like, it would be nice if they were more readily available. You know, I wish they would do that kind of thing. I don't know why, you know, there's a number of reasons they might not that have to do with, like, national security, I guess, but...
Wait, they're filming. What are they talking about? National security? Nobody's talking about filming inside facilities. I mean, they're filming stuff all the time. Like, they're taking pictures and video. I mean, why would there be national security issue about filming the sky? Like, if there's no national security issue for filming it for a couple hours, why would there be for 24 hours? Not to mention, like, what about the villages? There's actually...
Oh, I think I'm just gonna have a
So
break,
you have
man.
here
It's been too
Villa
much.
Las Estrellas, which is in King George Island.
See you